Hello, everybody, and welcome to the world of Aeternis. I'm currently trying to ride a horse without being able to see the road, and it is going surprisingly well. Thank you for joining me for the very first episode of this Let's Play. I know starting a Let's Play in 2026, not the smartest move, but hey, I got the time. We are going to be mostly doing a world tour today, showing you what I have been up to. Stopping at this crossroads is probably a good place to give us a sense for that. So up ahead, we have the city of West Shore, and West Shore is what I'd consider to be the starting area for this world. And sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Let me give you a little bit of context. This survival world, this forever world I've been building here, I'm planning to turn this into a complete the monument map in style of some of the super hostile maps. There will be dungeons, there will be lots and lots of secrets and ancient relics for you to discover. And whether it takes me, a few months, a few years, however long, I'm hoping to one day release this for you to enjoy and explore and discover. And so, if you're into D&D, if you're into role playing, anything like that, this world will be basically my gift to you to explore and have fun with. Um, so now that we're in West Shore, let's give a little tour. Over here is my area. Uh, the town did not want me to live amongst the people, and so they banished me to live outside. But that's okay because I built myself a nice house. Had to put an iron door on this thing because villagers kept trying to come in and live with me. Up here, this is just my bedroom. This is my first diamond. I got a little diary going right there. Enchanting setup, of course. Got some books. And then a tiny storage room down here. And blast furnace. First thing I did with this world, and I'll give you a little map view. This is the city of West Shore, and we were just coming down that path. This one up here leads to agronomy, and this one right here leads to Swardmore. Agronomy, I've built that up a little bit, and we'll check it out in just a bit. Swardmore, on the other hand, I'll be honest, I've done nothing with, but we'll get there. I swear. Um, so the town of West Shore. This, if you were to look at the overall map of Aeternis and this continent called Valinor, this is probably in the south central area of the map. And I'll probably put a graphic up on screen so you can check that out for yourself. Um, so, really, anything south of this is just going to be farms and open ocean. So, you can see out there, I've got a tree farm going. That building right there, that's my moss farm. And then let's do a brief fly. And we should be able to see my main industrial area where I've got stuff like a creeper farm, um, sugarcane farm, iron farm, stuff like that. Uh, I don't really want to show this, but I might as well. It's kind of interesting. Just taking a bunch of farms, then I pipe all the items up into an item filter up there, and I just go AFK up there while the creepers spawn in and such. So it's pretty ugly. I'm probably gonna blow all this up before I release the world to you. So you may never see this. Yay. Anyway, so the town of West Shore was my first project in this world, and really, I just wanted to take this village and maintain that classic village style. Not do anything too fancy, but just clean up the roads, clean up some of the buildings, and add a few custom buildings. So, first few buildings I put together in the world were obviously the cathedral. I thought, hey, let's try and build a building in the same style as the classic church or cathedral building in a village, but let's make it a bit bigger, a bit grander, and kind of evoke some of the cathedrals you might see today in modern life. So there's an iron golem in here keeping watch, and there's Fletcher for some reason. um, Went for a nice stained glass, but did also try and keep a very similar block palette to what you might find in a village. This is the town meeting area, the town square, where they've got their bulletin board. Probably add some quests on here. Um, and then there's also the central library. A villager sometimes sleeps up here. And I do have my own writing nook up here. So sometimes I go up here and I write in my diary. I definitely recommend you give this a read because there might be some pivotal lore information for you about this world. Hello. Up here on the hill, we have the mayor's house and the lighthouse. Great view up there. I recommend checking it out. The mayor's house does need some decoration. I will be honest. I did not do the interior quite yet, but it's got a balcony. Look out over the town. Down here by the water, we have the stables where we keep the horses. That's where we parked that one earlier, as well as the mill where stonecutters work, grinding up these large piles of stone that they get shipped in from other cities and towns across the continent. To save us time, I'm going to do a quick flyover, especially because we looked at the map. So if you follow this path up here, you can get back to that crossroads where we started the episode. If you take a left, we can head out to Swardmore. That's this town out here in the plains. Swardmore really has no infrastructure built up quite yet. I will admit I have been neglecting it. I do have a plan for this. There's going to be a grand market here, kind of a grand bazaar, and uh, there's some other nearby regions. I'm going to point that direction vaguely, that you might be able to learn a bit about here in Swardmore. Heading back to our fork in the road, we can go to the right to make our way towards agronomy. And agronomy is, I'd say, more of a rural community. Um, they are really focused on farming and have some massive fields. I'm trying to avoid spoilers so we can get the grand reveal. So I'm just going to look this way. Um, but yeah, it's an agriculturally based community, and so if you ever need wheat, I recommend you come out here to agronomy. And if you are looking to learn a bit more about some of the towns and cities, nations out to the west in this world, sorry, that's west. Out to the east in this world, I recommend you stop by agronomy. And agronomy, not done. Nothing in this world is done. Let me tell you. Um, but really, what I've been going for is when you come up over this hill, I just want everything you see to be wheat. So I need to transform this landmass into wheat. But we've got these fields down here, and we come around this corner. We have, guess what? Even more fields. Look at that. Um, and so we got a few windmills, and I plan to put a few more out on that landmass there, and maybe one over here as well. Agronomy, they, like I said, they're agriculturally based community, and so a lot of farmers need to build a dock because they do ship out their grain to the rest of the continent. And so you might hear other people talk about agronomy farmers and kind of the culture of living out here on the plains in the savannah. I'm not going to show the nether because ideally I don't want you using the nether whatsoever. Really, a lot of this world is in this adventure that I'm going to put you on is going to be based around visiting these cities, reading about different bits of lore and exploring and finding secrets, stuff like that. And the nether, there might be a few things in the nether for you to explore, but using portals to get around, let's just say it might be kind of a late game thing. Hi there. Well, this warm welcome from this lovely nitwit here is to Honeybee Springs. So this is kind of a suburban area outside of a grand city that we're going to go visit in just a second. But this is where villagers and city folk might come to relax and get away from the hustle and bustle of the big city life. It is kind of a hilly nation, and definitely have not put any work into this. Really, just found it and named it and decided what it will be. But overlooks these large cliffs and is going to be basically a resort. And so, if we head south of Honeybee Springs, we can start to see something a bit grander over these hills. And this is where I've been spending a lot of my time, probably the past 2, 3 months. Um, this is the city of Dawnhaven. And like everything, this is very much work in progress, but it is the most cohesive build I have so far. Let me do a quick fly in just to save us some time. Um, and it's going to be a grand city. As you can see, it is heavily inspired by a few different things. First of all, well, probably the best way to see it is over here. It is a city based off and inspired by motifs of the sun. And so there's going to be a lot of orange and sandstone and white and yellow and red within this city. A lot of copper. Oh my gosh, I've used so much copper in this build so far. This is the Grand Forum. This is where there's going to be market stalls. That's what these rows are going to be for, market stalls and shops. And there's these larger buildings. We have the Bridge of the Sunrise or Bridge of the Dawns right here. And this is where villagers every year will cross this bridge to the central island and take a pilgrimage up to the statue of the founder. On this side, we have the town hall. I needed to do the bottom and the basement. Don't ask. Um, this is the town hall, and this is where the leaders meet every session for the council, and they've got a large map. I'm going to be building kind of like a table here and make it more of a meeting hall feeling, but right now we've just got the town map. Um, as you can see, there's this giant river. I've done some man-made uh, river guiding down here and up there, and so really planning to kind of widen the river here, have it wrap all the way around, making this the Founder's Island for that pilgrimage area. Probably do another connection right there too. The city itself will go all the way up here and all the way around like that. And so it should eventually be basically a giant circle around this island, which will remain mostly green and pristine. Across the way here, we have the Athenaeum. That name is pending, so I might call it something else in the future. But this is supposed to serve as a museum showing historical record and culture of the Donhaven city. Donhavians, I guess. Definitely need to do the interior here, but we've got some mosaics and we have this other wing within the museum, and then need to do this part, which is going to be more like the administration and offices of the museum workers. And I think that might be it so far. Last thing I've been working on just recently, got some storage right here, is this basically townhouse or apartment building design, just starting to kind of lay out the foundations for where these houses will go, what the streets will be, bridges, etc. So yeah, that's everything I've built so far. I will admit this is not the first time I've recorded this world tour, and this went much faster than before. Pretty happy with all the work I've done so far in this world. Definitely a lot to go. Oh yeah, there's another entrance to the Athenaeum down here. But I've not done the interior whatsoever. So lots and lots to do. Let me tell you, I am just getting into building in Minecraft, and so there's a lot of things I'm learning, stuff like gradients and block palettes, and how to properly use different arches and glass panes and walls and shelves and all kinds of stuff to make shapes. And so, be nice to me in the comments, please. If you have any tips, I'm very open to feedback. If you have ideas for things I can add, like please, I've got a lot of space to fill. And we're also going to be exploring a lot of different aesthetics and themes for some of these places. Donhaven is one of, I think, 12 cities I'm going to be building. That sounds right. And so, if you aren't into this Mediterranean style with all the copper and the orange and the blue and the yellow, then like don't worry, we're going to have there's an imperial empire that's going to be built. There's more of a swampy nomad style. There's going to be a grand desert kingdom. This is going to be a very large world, and I'll probably put the map back up on the screen so you can see the size we will be dealing with. And everything will be connected by paths and have lots of secrets. And somewhere in this world, there is going to be a monument where you can collect specific blocks and complete that monument, CTM, to unlock the grand secret and the grand reveal of the world. So I'm probably going to close out this episode by doing a quick time lapse of me building a few more of these apartment buildings and kind of getting a bit more of the infrastructure of Donhaven set up. One thing I want to do is figure out a bridge design I've been noticing that I've built these two roads right along this canal here. So I need to figure out what that bridge looks like, and will it be awkward if this side of the bridge is much lower than that side? So definitely have some stuff to figure out, but let's dive into a quick time lapse, and I will figure out how to do that in flashback. YouTubing. And just like that, we have a full street of houses built. And they are definitely 100% completed. I already know what a bunch of you are thinking. You're thinking, okay, didn't you just show us a ton of other buildings without interiors? And now you've built four more? Yes. Yes, that is exactly what just happened. Anyway, yeah, I'm really happy with how all these came out. I think they look really good. A lot of different shapes and sizes. If I had to pick a favorite, maybe this one right here. This one's pretty cute. Tucked right in the middle. Got some nice greenery. Definitely still need to do a lot of details. Obviously, I need to do the interiors. I will do it. I promise. I just hate doing interiors, but I will get to it. And definitely need to like put in some floors and figure out stairwells and rooms and all that. But yeah, it's looking good. And then over on this side, we've got stone walls. Yay. Obviously, gonna put another row of houses on this side facing this way. And so I think that's gonna bring us to the end of our episode. Before we do sign off here, I do want to update our map. Let me just toss some junk in here that I don't need. Um, this is always fun to just see the progress. So look at that. Ah, that looks great. Yeah, I'm super excited for these buildings. And ow, um, can't wait to just keep on building more. Um, yeah, just really is starting to make it feel like a city rather than just some buildings surrounding a plaza. But yeah, like I love that view. If I come down here by the water, come up this street. I did expand the street. You might have seen in the time lapse because I was feeling like it was a little tight, or like wasn't. It was leaning too far this way because these buildings were right up against the street, and the Athenaeum wasn't. So I just ex- extended it a little bit. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Really excited for this journey. I am once again very new to YouTube and everything. So if you do have any feedback, please comment it down below. Would love it if you like, subscribe, all that jazz. Yeah, we should be doing this pretty regularly. So hope to see y'all soon. Thanks so much. Bye bye.